Nation, someone number 52. Welcome back to Football Trends with me, QB. Now, on today's video, we're going to talk about two players, two youngsters who have just recently joined the club as free agents. I know, guys, I'm saying free agents, and probably to you it might sound a bit bad, but I'm not saying it in a bad way. It is something that is there and it's true, and we need to think about it because as much as our sporting director, I believe Kaizer Jr. said no, we signed players, we spent a lot of money in the transfer market. Well, those two players, there was no money spent on them. Yes, they are currently getting paid, which obviously is a payment that goes to the players, but it's not millions and millions of rands. I think I think, honestly speaking. So coach Ernest Middendorp has said something about the two youngsters. I'm happy he's not just looking at Kaizer Chiefs, even though he's made an example with Kaizer Chiefs players, which I feel like it's something that we were talking about a bit earlier. Maybe maybe he understands or he sees things as I do see them, in a certain way. But let's talk about it. Let's talk about it, Buffett. Before we get there, also, please do make sure that you like the video and subscribe, man. Subscribe, guys. If this is your first time, seeing Football Trends QP, please do make sure that you subscribe. And also, don't be scared to, whenever you meet me anyway, just talk with me. I don't mind. I don't have a problem. I'm QP Buffett, the most friendly guy in the universe. So, speaking in terms of the players, currently we actually previous transfer window, there were players Asanele Velebayi and Baartman. It was a big case in which obviously we could not even play with them because of the situations. Remember, we brought you the stories here a bit earlier to say Kaizer Chiefs have signed this player and that player, even though they did not disclose as area before they could, because of the situation of the court and stuff, because Cape Town Spurs decided to take the boys to court, just so that they can get whatever it is that they wanted to get. Unfortunately, the case did not go according to their plan. So fast forward now, we do have those players. I was advocating for those players, and I'm still advocating for them. I still believe in the players 100%, especially being young players with a lot of room to improve. When they were playing for Spurs, I think they were playing far better than currently. Also, I think it has to do with the fact that this club, it's a different club. The environment is very different. Also, it's very huge, guys. The fans, the roaring of the fans, the crowd. It's so much to the point that even myself, I get scared sometimes, and I'm like, yo. Just imagine if I had to speak in front of all of you guys. Yes, I'm speaking with you now currently, but it's not the same because I can't see you. But imagine you are straight in my face and all of you are looking at me, So I think that creates kind of a pressure, So I feel like that is the same pressure the young players are currently feeling at Naturena. But according to Coach Ernest Middendorp, he believes the players probably are not ready. I don't know if I should agree or disagree with him, but let's look at his statement before we get to the agreeing and disagreeing part of what he's saying. So this is what he's saying. He says, everybody thinks you can play for Kaizer Chiefs. Everybody thinks you can play for Orlando Pirates or Mamelodi Sundowns. Everybody thinks you can coach those teams. I'm not talking about the head coach only. I'm also talking about the conditioning side, the analyst, and the level of all the experts around, up to 10, about 10 technical team members. I've seen a lot and worked with a lot of players who are or have been in the squad of Pirates, Chiefs, and Sundowns. I can see no chance for those players. They did not have the required mentality, the resilience, not good enough. The players are not ready. They got excited. You see them so excited to go into the Orlando Stadium. They need 90 minutes to get it, and the game is over. It is the mentality side where you have to check also the recruitment side. There you have it. You can have Asanele Velebayi as an example. You can sign him, fantastic player. Everything looks good, nice, exciting, entertaining, perfect. You can take Luke Baartman, also a fantastic, lovable guy, also superb. But playing for Kaizer Chiefs in the stage where they are, no chance. Bushenege, coach Ernest Middendorf. So he says currently at the stage or the level that they are, it feels like they don't have a chance playing for the club. Well, I would love to agree and disagree with his statement. The reason why I'm saying this is because, first of all, I feel like with the players currently, you Asanele Velebayi and you look Baartman, as I've said earlier on, the pressure, definitely it is something that is getting to them. Obviously, they need to also perform, and finding the club where it was currently, it was also a factor, a big problem, because you are coming into a club that already there's pressure to play, but now you find that there's more pressure because now you need to perform, now you need to change things, you need to be that center of attention, and it brings a lot of unnecessary pressure to the player. You understand? So I'm not saying currently just because of that the players should not or should be performing to their level best. Well, yes, they could do a lot more better currently with what we are seeing, because so far we had a lot of expectations with those young players. Why? Because of where they were playing, the environment at Cape Town Spurs, they were doing so well. Why? I feel like also, it was not because they had to perform, but the environment allowed them to learn, grow, make mistakes, do all those things that needs to be done as a player for you to be able to perform for that team or that certain kind of team. So with Kaizer Chiefs, we have a different style of play, and you can tell that the players are still adapted or still using the system from Cape Town Spurs. Another thing I'm looking at currently, we expect them to be perfect game in, game out, which is something that I feel like it's also putting or mounting to the pressure that they already have. At Cape Town Spurs, they would fumble some games. We would not know why, because we were not looking at them. We were not focusing on them. The spotlight was not on the youngsters. But now currently, those youngsters, they are at a big club. Each and every game that they play, we are here, we are watching, we want to see what they're going to be able to bring into the table. Hence, I'm saying, with Spurs, things were different. Some games they could fumble, some games they would perform, and we would praise them. Also, here, it's difficult because we are watching each and every game. We are watching each and every step that they're doing, so that we can be able to quickly, not just me, but also fans of different clubs, they're fans of your Mamelodi Sundowns, they're fans of your Orlando Pirates. All of those people, they count as Kaizer Chiefs fans. Why? Because they are watching to see what this young player will bring to a club like Kaizer Chiefs. So also that brings out a lot of frustration to the young player. Another thing is, when you're playing for a team like Kaizer Chiefs, you feel like you need to be perfect each and every game, and that also destroys your mentality. Hence, I'm saying I do agree with this statement, but also I do not agree, because another thing, I feel like we need to try and focus on those youngsters a bit more, with players like Umfundo, Duduzi, Uncle Simpile Ngobo. The pressure was kind of different for them. Why? They are used to sold out events. They are used to playing against a very, very big crowd. They are used to being well known. You understand? But now, with those players, Velebayi and Baartman, it's a bit difficult for them. And I feel like it's more challenging than the players that were promoted from the DDC side, because they know the kind of pressure. Yes, it's a bit different when you get to senior team, but they know even from DDC that, okay, Kaizer Chiefs is a big club and we have a lot of supporters. There's a lot of noise when it comes to this club. You understand? So another thing we have to look at, guys, a player like Velebayi or Baartman, when they're playing against the big teams, they tend to perform a bit more. Why? Because they are playing against. They want to prove something. You understand? They want to prove something to us, the club. I remember when they played against us, those two youngsters, they done some incredible job just to make sure we lose the game. And that happened. They did exactly that. You understand? So with them now playing for this team that they once beat, it's different because now the shoulder, the responsibility, it falls upon them. So for me, I feel like we can judge the players and say, Abachita, Lokiana, but also I think we just need to be a bit patient. We need to be a bit patient with them, give them some time. I think as time goes on, Abachita, they will come around. I've been crying and complaining about Velebayi. Sometimes we do look Baartman and saying, okay, there are crosses that they play, passes that they play, they do not even find their teammate, because every time they're being introduced, it's Katana, they're being introduced under pressure. A team is already under pressure and then they are being introduced. It's difficult for them to be able to be free, express themselves. Most games where we win, they don't come in as much, you understand? So right now it's going to be a lot more difficult to work with them than the players coming from the 36 side. Hence we see Thulani Tashmabaso, when given a chance, he performs. He knows the kind of environment that is getting into. We've seen a lot of young stars from our side, when being promoted, they tend to do a bit more better. Yes, they can struggle the first few games, but as time goes on, they tend to be, the best version of themselves. For me, I'm still happy with Thulani Tashmabaso too. I'm not complaining about anything with that young player. And there are other players also. I feel like if they can be given a chance, they will also do some incredible job at the club. But also, I know you guys will say we need some bit of experience. So that's what I think about those players. I do agree with Ernest, but also I disagree. But let me know, what do you think down in the comment section below? Do you think what Coach Ernest Middendorp is saying is accurate, or do you think maybe corner la ilahla corner? Please don't be shy, Bafetu, to let us know down in the comment section below. I would love to hear from you. Please don't forget to like the video, cause peace.